Your mom makes cookies?
You know what? They're very good cookies. They do look. Oh boy, here comes some more.
There's his brother and sister.
Hi. Yep.
So welcome to Lancaster County, everyone.
Oh, I see.
My name is Miriam, and this is Mary the horse. So there are Amish Mennonites and Brethren in Lancaster County, and all three of the groups, they came from the Anabaptist faith. In Europe, this group had come out and preached about adult baptism, and that was outrageous. And the people were so severely targeted that they phased out, and out of them first came the Brethren. Out of the Brethren came Mennonites, and out of the Mennonites came the Amish. In 1656, the English took over from the Dutch. The first settlers of Brethren arrived to Pennsylvania in the 1630s. The first Mennonites arrived upon the invitation from William Penn in 1710. The first documented Amish families to Pennsylvania came from 1735 and 1737. The major migration of the Amish occurred during the 1820s and 1830s. Now around this time is wedding time for the Amish. They occur on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it's a whole day event for about 3 hours. Afterwards, there's a full lunch served, and you may have 500 or 600 guests at your wedding. So there will be about 100 people served at one time. And after lunch, in the evening, more people will arrive, and you'll have another dinner.
Well, I like what Miriam said. You know, I'm her dad, and I like what she said about the young folks. I like what she said about how people came here. You know, when the English took over from the Dutch, the English realized they had a problem. England was very small. France and Spain were very large. So they had to do something. They didn't even have enough people to populate this place. And the English kings, by and large, had married German ladies. So they said to themselves, I know, we'll invite the relatives to come. They invited their allies, and of course the map of Europe wasn't the same then. Holland was much bigger. Our people, when they came here, our particular part of our family came from some part of Holland, which is Belgium now. And they decided they had to do something, so they invited people to come from Germanic realms, and they came from Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, Poland, Prussia, Russia, Czechoslovakia, Bohemia, Moravia, parts of Hungary, Austria, Transylvania, over through the Pfalz, Westphalia, up into, still from Alsace, Belgium. They filled the country up with German-speaking people, so by the time of the American Revolution in 1776, only 17% of the country was English. 62% was German, and the other 20% were some French, some Czechs, Poles, and other nationalities. I guess I could say a word about cell phones too. You know, folks come here and they think that sometimes nobody has a telephone. Years ago, people didn't have telephones on the place at all. They went over to the neighbors to use the phone, but pretty soon they said, well, we could have a phone in the shed. And so they did, and then it got to be, well, you know, we could have a phone. It's pretty important to have a phone if you have you have a business, you've got to have a phone. If you're on the farm and you have a little trouble, you've got to have a phone. So there's phones in the sheds on the farm, and recently, of course, the last 10 years or so, cell phones have come in. Generally speaking, they haven't been totally approved by districts yet, but there are a lot of people who have cell phones. You might ask them, well, do you have cell phones? And the average person will reply, well, no, we're not supposed to have them. And you say, well, wait a minute, I didn't ask you if you're not supposed to have them. I said, do you have one? And the answer is yes. So some people have cell phones. There's no wires on them.
And we're going to come out to the valley here. And all the farms you can see out here, they're all Amish. Look. Now a dairy farm needs between 60 and 80 acres, and that's to sustain milking 42 cows. So each cow is expected to produce 8 to 10 gallons of milk a day, and that's naturally. And so all the milk gets exported. Lots goes to Hershey, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York, New Jersey. My dad always said if you had a Hershey bar, you probably had some Amish milk and never knew it. Now you'll notice here on the left that the electric wires are stopped.